Good morning, people. Welcome to my channel. So the votes have come in, and now we shall do some intimacy dynamics of nakshatras. How does it play out within a relationship? So I've covered this in the extensive playlist Vedic Astrology and intimacy aspects. You can go through that. That covers even psychological stuff. But here we shall get to some basic stuff. Okay. And we shall do with Moon in Ashwini, Mercury in Ashwini, or Venus in Ashwini. Whenever you think of intimacy aspects, you got to match three personal planets. You got to match Mercury, you got to match Venus and Moon in Natal and Navamsha, the best possible outcome at least. Okay. So let us see Ashwini Nakshatra, since it's a Devgana, how it is matched with. Now I have stuck a figure, as you can see on the screen, of a woman moon and a man's moon over here, just for a pictorial representation, nothing else. So let us begin directly, because this is quite a bit of ground to cover. First, one of the basic rules is always try to match your moon nakshatra with another moon nakshatra which is not identical to yours. Why? Because you'll be going through the similar mahadashas and sequences, which is not advisable in Jyotish. Each of the partners should go through a different set of circumstances through life. So therefore, it's important that the ascendant sign or the sign of the moon in Natal and Navamsha should be also having the same rules of distinction. That means to say 1 to 3 dynamic, 1 to 4 dynamic, 1 to 7 dynamic, 1 to 10 or 1 to 11. These are the best possible moon matches. The distance between the signs, not necessarily the houses as you can see on the screen. So Ashwini Nakshatra, first good match is with Mrigashira Nakshatra. Let's say the woman's Ashwini is in the woman is in Ashwini Nakshatra, the man's is in Mrigashira Nakshatra. Now how that dynamic play out? Okay. This is a high voltage attraction with a built-in restlessness. Both are very restless nakshatras. Ashwini moon brings speed, instinct and emotional urgency. Mrigashira moon brings curiosity, movement and mental freedom. Together this creates a bond that feels alive, never dull but rarely still. This connection thrives on momentum, novelty and shared exploration. The passion stays strong when life is moving, changing, traveling and learning. They're dynamic nakshatras, both of them. Both are Devgana, so always match the Gana also. The moment things become emotionally heavy, routine or possessive, the bond starts to strain. This is not a comfort first relationship, it's a growth first kind of relationship. If you are the two kind of people who enjoy intensity, playful chase, psychological stimulation and continuously evolving dynamics, this pairing can feel addictive and deeply bonding over time. This works best for two people when choosing curiosity over control, movement over emotional rigidity. See there? Right there, you have a pairing distinction. Let's say we put it in Punarvasu, and Punarvasu has got three padas in Gemini itself. Last pada is in Cancer. Okay? So let's see the Punarvasu dominant part. Let's say woman's moon is in Ashwini, man's moon is in Punarvasu. Now what happens? Okay? Punarvasu Ashwini dynamic. Let us see this. So, this pairing is of impulse meeting emotional repair. Ashwini moon brings speed, initiation, instinctive emotional action. Punarvasu moon, on the other hand, the man's moon, brings, in this case, renewal, reassurance and emotional resilience. This is a bond, one that one sparks and the other stabilizes. Ashwini activates the relationship starting. Ashwini is the starter by default, so it pushes things forward, reigniting desire. Punarvasu softens the edges, forgiving quickly, restoring emotional balance, and repeatedly choosing connection over conflict. Punarvasu is a Devgana, so it will choose again and again. Punarvasu fails first and retrieves again. This is a pairing that recovers well after emotional disruptions. Arguments don't linger long. Emotional ruptures are followed by reconnection, often stronger than before, especially Punarvasu in the last pada, which is Cancer, which is a softer sign. This is a growth through healing dynamic, not explosive, not stagnant, but quietly enduring when both of them matures. Look, any partnership, doesn't matter which moon, you have to mature in this. The Vedic astrology or the Vedas speak of relationship in terms of something that has to be consciously worked through. It is not automatic. The spark and the chemistry, seeing one another, love at first sight, all these kinds of things might be fine on paper, but you have to make the relationship last. This is where the Vedic astrology and the Vedas in general come from. Now let's take the next dynamic. What is the next dynamic? Let's take the man's moon and put him in Pushya Nakshatra there. So it is 1-4 dynamic. That means to say 9-5 relationship. Not 9-5, sorry, 4-10 relationship. So it's 4th and 10th. Remember the dynamic of numerology always plays out. Okay. This is just a textual form. But what does Pushya give here? Ashwini moon in the woman, Pushya in the man. It can be gender interchangeable, it doesn't matter. Nakshatras don't follow that kind of a rule. It is gender neutral, really. This pairing is of raw impulse meeting emotional structure. Now we talk of Cancer. Pushya is Cancer. So Ashwini moon brings speed, instinct, initiation, and emotional immediacy. I want to have it quick. Let's get laid kind of approach. Ashwini moon. Pushya moon brings nourishment, patience, duty, long-term emotional containment because it is in Cancer. Together, this relationship creates where one ignites and the other sustains. Ashwini pushes life forward, quick decisions, bold emotional moves, sudden desires. Pushya, on the other hand, Cancer, absorbs, organizes, holds emotional space, often becomes a stabilizing pillar of bond. There is a strong provider, protector, nurturer, anchor polarity here. This dynamic excels in long-term partnership, family building, and emotional reliability. Conflicts tend to resolve through responsibility rather than drama. I want to avoid drama, isn't it? The risk lies in imbalance. Ashwini may feel emotionally restricted if Pushya becomes too rule bound. Pushya is ruled by Saturn, so it is rule bound by default. Okay, and it's kind of slow and steady person. This is a stabilizing marriage grade pairing, powerful combination when impulse respects structure and structure allows movement. So you might want to consider that if you are thinking such kind of relationships. Now, next one. Let us move Mr. Man Moon to Swati. I'm only matching Dev Ganas if you noticed. I don't match mismatched Ganas, otherwise it leads to disastrous consequences. Also, just on the side, the red triangles marked there, the 6, 8, and 12, never try to match those moons and the nakshatras in them, with Ashwini in this case. Okay, never try to match the moons which are within the nakshatras 6th, 8th, and 12th houses because it leads to just losses of all kinds, transformation of all kinds, which is unnecessary, really. So, Swati moon. This is pure impulse meeting radical independence. Swati is very, very independent nakshatra. Ashwini moon brings speed, instinct, emotional immediacy, urge to initiate. Swati moon brings freedom, self-direction, detachment, and emotional autonomy. Together, this creates a bond that feels electrifying at first. There is that 1-7 dynamic. Ashwini is right opposite to Swati, but difficult to anchor. Because one wants momentum, other wants freedom. Ashwini feels alive chasing, Swati feels seen without being possessed. Swati wants independence. Ashwini also wants independence. So it's a very power couple dynamic here. Attachment is light and trust is strong. The more Ashwini pushes for emotional certainty, the more Swati withdraws. Because Swati wants its quiet, independent space. This is a high growth, non conventional relationship. This only works when love is allowed to breathe, control kills it, freedom sustains it. So this relationship is highly banking on freedom aspects. You have to respect the freedom of the other one, especially the Swati person. Now we shall end it with Ashwini trying to match with Shravana, the last one. There is nothing in the 11th position because there is no Devgana there. So like I said, I always try to match the ganas first. What does this dynamic give? Ashwini moon brings speed, instinct, emotional immediacy, urge to act now, while Shravana moon now in this case it's in Capricorn, so it brings listening, patience, learning, and sort of an emotional rigidity. Capricorn moon is very restricted. You might not want to get with them if especially you are not the one to be controlled. Okay, we shall see more and more as we go along with different nakshatras. It has to be matched by nakshatras, it has to be matched distinctively. There is no one size fits all here in Vedic astrology. Emotionally guided, restrained, it's highly restrained. Capricorn. One initiates, other interprets, other sustains. Shravana is a very grounded nakshatra, it wants to sustain things. Ashwini moves first, Shravana absorbs, listens, reflects, and then responds with meaning. Shravana is very slow to respond. It tends to absorb first and then analyze it and labor over it. If you're interested in that kind of a dynamic, this will suit. Understand your partner first. Nothing is given in writing. These are clues for you. This often creates a teacher activator dynamic where Shravana gives context to and continuity to Ashwini's movement, initiation. Conversations tend to heal, guide, and stabilize the relationship. There has to be a lot of communication for this relationship to survive the fire element and the earth element. Okay, so you got to be careful about this. The risk is mismatch in timing. Ashwini may feel unheard if responses are slow. Shravana may feel emotionally rushed or overwhelmed. Shravana wants to take it very slow. This is a maturity driven pairing, strong for long term growth when action learns to listen and wisdom allows movement. So that's where this particular dynamic plays out between Ashwini and Shravana. That's the last. In Aquarius, there is no Devgana, so I won't talk about that. We'll see more when we come to Aquarius nakshatras. But first, we wanted to start with Ashwini itself, the first of the Devganas. Next, we shall consider the Mrigashira nakshatras and the pairing thereof. Take care, be safe.